I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
They remember me, but I am not around the way.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
Peace. Love and light.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace.
Wow.
Peace, peace. How y'all doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good, Sheik. Good to see you, Sheik.
We good.
Nobles.
Montez, peace, my brother.
Peace and love, Sheik. Definitely good.
Happy good.
Islam.
I hear Little Noble.
That's a little noble.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, though,
Yes,
Sheik.
sir.
You know, peace and love, man. You know, Islam for all the fire you've been putting out lately. Islam.
Gratitude to y'all, man.
Islam.
Gratitude for y'all. Y'all trusting me and allowing me to continue to perfect myself as we perfecting ourselves together, collectively. And it's just a beautiful thing when men come together honorably. And we're going to continue to show the world. We're going to continue to show the world how we operate, what the science is about, on a level playing field, and give people something to compare to as we continue to build. Why people be complaining about this and that and the other, and education and all that, man, I'm doing. So that's all I'll tell everybody. The reason why we lost because we complain and we don't put the people in position to help, you know, and I'm gonna continue to say that over and over and over. What my people are lost due to the lack of knowledge. Why? Because we refuse to learn and we refuse to have our people that can help. We don't promote them. We don't. I mean, I've been home, man. I've been speaking at all the other people organizations, my Jewish colleagues, my professor, Scottish Rite Masons. Like tomorrow, I'm lecturing at the Jewish church where my ex-professor is the priest. It's no melanated people there. They say, this come Minister Moore Science. Gave me a donation of $1,500. They're like, that's all they had. I'm like, that's all y'all had. I don't get no $1,500 nowhere. You know? You know? I'm just being honest. I'm always be transparent. They said, bring some of your books and this, that, and the other. And that's it. You know, and I tell people, truth has no sides. We have religion all our lives and we don't get education. And then when you see somebody that's teaching the right way, we afraid. We afraid. And I tell y'all, this is what they talk about in their halls. They use this for power while we on our knees on welfare. Why we begging? Why we don't come together? We don't know the tax codes. We still think we get ready to get a tax return. We don't use our money to support our religious and charitable contribution of our choice and build our infrastructure. But before we get started, can we give us our Morris American prayer? I'm sorry.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, our salvation, by night, by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amin Ashay, Shalom Aleichem, Ash'ar, Islamism. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace.
I love to hear that, man.
Right.
I love to hear the Morris Science is for the family. I'm all family. Those that don't know me, my Morris Science is for the family. All that prison stuff, man, we don't get locked up for this. We free and we family men. But
Wow.
as I'm preparing my notes on the side, I just want to have a conversation with us today. You know, because a lot of people get caught up in this fictitious stuff about Morris Science, like Morris Science is some genie. Like you're gonna click your heels and put on the fez and everything that you've done, all the crazy stuff that you've done is gonna magically disappear. You think you can file some goofy number, some AA22 number, and magically you finna have something. And I'm telling you, it's all fallacy. That A22 number ain't number the doc number. That you can look up a particular thing, a case in the Library of Congress, which you can't no more. I want us to have the right science. I don't want us to get caught up as paper terrorists per se, doing things and it's nothing but cosmetics. And then we posted it on social media and then everybody getting caught up in the rapture as paper, you know, terrorist. You know what I'm saying, Nobles?
Right.
So I want y'all, so when I'm speaking it and stuff, I'll be wanting my brothers and sisters to be like, okay, well, can we add these questions again? This is a discussion. So when people leave out the house, that's what I use Saturday for Adapt Class. What? For people can ask questions, where you don't get caught up in the wrong thing. And then you be embarrassed and you disappear. I don't want that to happen to people. So we have to be transparent and remove the lies and remove the fallacy before we can move forward. It's just like cutting a disease out of you. You know, you got to know your arcana to get it out. You can't build up on that rebel. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
And I just be wanting to share this with y'all when people leave out, and because my eyes be everywhere. I see what people follow on social media. And I always ask people, why would you follow that? And you see what they talking about. You see what they all about. You can get caught up in a RICO. What? You supporting it? You with it? You know? That's what I'll be saying. I said, we can get caught up. How? By our association, by the poison that we listen to, by the rhetoric that we listen to. I told y'all, the satanic spirit is going to always be saying the same thing. What? And you see it. I told y'all this a long time ago. Look what's happening. The same thing over and over and over. It's a regurgitated conscious community. With all due respect. Are y'all following me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So when I talk about, when we talk about civics, because we're gonna talk about civics today, about real things. And I know the average brother or sister don't know about it because they think more science is some different law. They think more science is it's some different law than everybody else got. And I don't abide to none of this. You are tripping. It's a thing called, what you say, Malik? Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying nothing. I was just snickering.
I always ask people, I share everything. So on Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, a lot of those other students, they study Charles A. Wiseman. A lot of people don't even know who Charles A. Wiseman is. I share this with people. I share what they study to a T. So we know how to operate. You can't be an L, you can't be a Bay and don't know all law. Know how to operate in the parameters of the law. Because law governs what, Malik?
All events.
Can you say that again?
All events.
You said law governs all events, huh? That what you said?
ALL. Events. EVENTS.
So if law governs all events, why would any more, if their heart is pure, operate outside the parameters of the law? I'm just asking the question. Why would a righteous man say they're a sheep, a divine minister? You're supposed to be a divine minister first. So you're responsible for people's lives. Why wouldn't you operate on the lawful objectives? Why wouldn't you?
You would have to ask that person.
Exactly. Exactly, Malik. So, you just made a point. He said you got to ask that person. And that's what I'm doing. We don't ask when we just do things. You heard that? But you're not getting proof. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 in your biblical scripture, it says, prove all things and hold fast to what is good. Prove it.
But what if you're talking to an atheist? Then what?
A who?
An atheist.
An atheist?
Yeah, because they don't read the Bible.
Well, okay, well, great. But I'm glad you said that. We're not talking, that's so great, because we're not talking Bible. I'm glad you said that, because when I have these conversations with atheists and things that might be our color, they like, brother, I'm with you. They operate in the parameters of the law. They understand who they are. They don't believe no one sitting on no throne. We don't either. When you say atheist, they're not devil worshipers, but they don't believe in no sky god. They don't believe no one sitting on no throne. So we could talk about water, and we could talk about the 7 Kemetic principles. We could talk about what things that we believe in the essence and sustainability, and they're going to agree with you and me every time. Every time. But when we're talking about operate under the parameters of the law and knowing all law, lawfully knowing all of the Constitution with the 20 sections, knowing everything, knowing how to prove things up, we ain't operating on no paper. Don't no paper justify us, not me and Malik. Paper? Oh, we want to go get some paper and go to their court. Oh, say, for what? We don't need to do that. I keep telling people, I said, the work has already been done. If you don't know that, that's your fault. You will be a paper terrorist like Bobby Hemmett told us, y'all back in the day. What's going to happen? That's ROGERELVIC. That's paradigm group stuff. That's not more science. And I tell people, take a time to research what your brother is saying. We operate under the parameters of the law. What? All law. And everything we do is universal. I say what I'm saying with a bullhorn on a corner. I've already did it in front of professors, lawyers, prosecutor, attorneys, and I can rest my case. And it will be no rebuttal. I can rest my case. It will be no rebuttal. Why? Because I'm crossing all T's and I've dotted all I's. That's why I'm telling you. What I know. I don't believe. I know. Without a shadow of a doubt. Matter factual. I know what I'm talking about. For sure. Anything else is uncivilized. Because if people say they know law, I say, okay, so let's give an introduction of law and see if you agree or disagree. If you disagree, then something is clearly wrong with the mental. Watch this. In law, as with any science, so you know law is a form of science, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Language, okay, language and a specific skill is a certain science. What you mean? If Malik say he's a doctor of language, he's a doctor of health, he's a doctor of this. So it's a specific language. He's a doctor of criminal law. It's a specific science that Malik is under. He's an expertise. Malik has been initiated in that craft. He been initiated, and the oath that he take is him making sure that he don't leave nobody in a burning house. But he's initiated how? Through the wisdom that he's acquired. That's a form of initiation. Language is a science. So there exist certain fundamental principles which form its basis and to which reference must be frequently made in its application. And these fundamental principles in law are referred to as maxims of law. Maxims of law. I use a quote from Sir William Blackstone. Somewhat like axioms in geometry. That's why when people be talking, Malik, and they say they don't like math and they dropped out of school, and I said, oh, I know you don't like law. Because they be like, what you mean? Because I said law is like trigonometry. I know you don't know what you talk about. I know for a fact, Malik, you hear me?
Yep.
Because it's a language. You can't fake it till you make it. You ain't won no case. You ain't done none of that. Why? Because we know the language. What Malik gonna say? Well, give me the precedent in the law case. Give me the doc number. What's the Free Information Act? We know all this stuff. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because somewhat like axioms in geometry. I hope we know what axioms are. And certain maxims of law have prevailed throughout recorded history. And they can be found in Old English common law. When brother, they love black laws. I said, man, black laws are just terms. That's why you got so many black laws. They terms. Do you hear people say, well, black law, volume 4 and 5 is good. It's for this. I said, good for what? Good for what? For barbershop talk. That's it. For barbershop talk. Real talk. And in the ancient Roman law. And can be found in the biblical scripture as well. That's why when people say they don't like the Bible, I say that's fine. I don't come from the Bible from no religious aspect. I come from the Bible under this aspect. If they under this law, I know they law. I know all law. This is what I keep trying to tell people when people say they don't believe in the Bible. Okay, you talking about a belief system, a context. I'm talking about what? Something that's universal. I said if law governs all events, I can pull out law in everything. You know? The maxim of law are so manifestly founded on what? Reason, necessity, and divine precepts, that they have been universally accepted as being true rules and principles of law. They thus have become a part of the general customs and common law of the land of every civilized nation. So when I'm talking about describing the established maxims of law, I can quote Sir Edward Coke, a leading English authority on the law, and he stated, and I quote eloquently with the silver tongue, a maxim is so called because its dignity, its chiefest, and its authority the most certain, and because it is universally approved by all. Perhaps the most renowned work on law is some of the authors at Coke's four institutes, in which Coke supported his legal dissertation with maxims of law. Also, I can give you reference in 1814, Thomas Jefferson wrote to Dr. Thomas Cooper regarding law and Coke's institution, and this is what he stated, and I quote, "This work is executed with so much learning and judgment that I do not recollect a single position in it has ever been judicially denied. It may still be considered as the fundamental code of the English law." So when you hear people talk about, oh, we don't need that no more, we don't need that, why you don't need nothing no more? That shows the ignorance of that individual's brain and the cap that's on the brain. We're students here. We're educated. This is Adapt wisdom. In a letter to Darnley Terrell, Esquire, in 1821, Jefferson made this recommendation. "You mentioned to me your intention of studying the law and asking my opinion as to the sufficient course of reading. First begin with Coke's first institutes." So we're talking about back then, these writings that I have, that I tell people, I said, they study this to a T. You have to know. And I tell you, all the other stuff is Fuji dust. That you're getting school, or you're getting academia, some that take months and years to get. And I'm giving you through a crash course. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that's real? Because the house is built, the furniture in it. All you got to do is live in it.
Because they scary. They believe in something that's gonna fall out the sky on them. Sky God.
My Malik. My Malik.
I'm just keeping it 100.
Yep. Y'all remember John Rutledge? He was a signer of the U.S. Constitution at the Constitutional Convention. Write this stuff down. He remarked that, and I quote again, in regard to particular law books, Coke's institutes seem to be almost the foundation of our law. So if these presidents is telling you, and here it is, your brother that know all this with his eyes closed. Come on. And our prophet said, what? He's going to leave the such and such here long enough to show you how to build your own government. What do you talk about? Things is talking in code. I'm telling you. Everything people doing, they're going to get themselves in trouble. I keep telling people. I done saw another person post a fake AA22 stuff. I said, man, they got a thing called the Internet Task Force, and they coming. I done told people this years ago. Moso know. I showed Moso. He like, dang, Sheik, how you be knowing all this? I said, this public information that happen every year. All they doing is on social media. They got a whole task force. I'm telling you facts. And in regard to particular law books, Coke's Institute seem to be almost the foundation of law.
Yeah, that was a sovereign citizen task force.
Yes. Yes, yeah. Malik. Yes. Point blank. And they on the computer right now. They watch me. They love me. That's why maybe the prisoners get to watch me in prison. I'm telling you. The sheriff told me.
Yeah, but some people they'll like if you when they pull you over, they'll call, we need a sovereign citizen. I said, I never said I was a sovereign citizen. They're assuming that.
Yeah, because the words that a person say.
Right.
If Malik, the words that are coming out of your mouth, it gets you caught up in certain things. and the language be that. That language don't have to come from us. Why? Because we don't operate like that.
Right.
So that don't have to come up with us. If we want to operate,
but ignorance is bliss though too on both sides. You feel me?
That's why. When I was a child, I act like a child. I thought like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish ways. That's what I'll be telling people when God is in you. When you get this, so you have no excuse of not knowing. There's no excuse of not knowing the law in the course. This is what I'm saying. We're supposed to know. I agree with what you're saying, Malik. And this is what my mom was saying. This is the problem. We don't know. Now and we're like, why we don't know? Because we had the other thing given to us down our throat, kept us on our knees. That we don't know this. We don't know
We
tax
slaves
code.
off the slave shit. That's
yes.
It's still being propagated by our own people.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody using their money to build. We begging. They like our religious laws trump this.
Building on rubble.
They get taxes and receipts like y'all do.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Building on rubble.
Yes. And a brief examination of the earlier cases that I gave y'all of England and America will readily show the importance which was attached to the acknowledgement maxims of law. Maxims were continually relied. And this is what I tell people. I said, you cannot make excuses when you're dealing with this and playing with people's lives.
No, you don't tell people, you actually show them.
Yes, I've been showing them.
Yeah.
I've been showing forever. Upon the settlement matters, dealing with wills and all that, inheritance and all that, land economics, crime, marriage, all that, you got to know. If one fails to understand the fundamental principles of law, then there is no end to which he or she can be misled or deceived about what is right and what is wrong. And such a person could easily become subject to government encroachments or be maneuvered into surrendering his or her rights. How? What? We all talk about you expatiating from the so-called de facto government, and you do that. And you do that goofy stuff. With all due respect, for educational purposes only. I don't want you to get caught up in nothing that's unrighteous. For educational purposes only. With love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I'm here to help you. I'm here for you to ask questions. And this is so because law governs all events and all things that concern our lives. That's why. And clearly a failure to have a practical understanding of the maxims of law could lead to grievous errors in your actions. No less so than the errors resulting from one's ignorance in the principle of any other science. You see? And maxims of law, like any other fundamental law, always hold true and yield the same results under the same conditions. Thus, the application of a maxim to a case before the court is generally the only question, not its validity per se. What I'm saying is, y'all, the true method of making the application is to ascertain how the maxim arose and to consider whether the case to which it is applied is of the same character or whether it is an exception to an apparently general rule. What precedent?
Well, the confusing part about that, right, for most people is that they've never seen these laws applied, right? So the only thing that most of the people have seen is the enforcement, right, of false imprisonment, not knowing that they've been falsely imprisoned, right, or how to apply the false imprisonment. So nobody's actually seen it in the works on how to get it corrected. So I think part of it is the disbelief because they've never seen it at work. If that makes sense.
Yep. Hey, Malik, you done jump. You done. Ooh, that's why you my brother. When the vibration is right, you really trumping what I'm saying. You saying it in layman terms, but yes. Now, people like, what you mean false imprisonment? I ain't talking about you driving without no lights. I ain't talking about you making a scene. That ain't what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about people who've been falsely imprisoned, like physically, because of things. But it does have to do with a lack of knowledge, right? And we understand it. But I'm saying the part of applied knowledge, we lack the applied knowledge on what to do and how to hold. And a lot of that has to do with keeping your mouth closed. Honestly.
What you just say, Noble? Allah
A lot
have
of
to
it has
do
to do
with
with keeping your mouth closed and learning, right?
what?
You got to learn.
You got a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Didn't say maybe. It said it will. Nothing you say to nobody is going to help you with your case unless you get an immunity. Now, Malik,
But
when we
this is
talk
where we
about
got to come together, though. That's the other part. It's coming
yeah,
together. Because
yeah,
remember when the Indian dude had an accident and killed somebody, but it wasn't malicious, and they were trying to give him the max. You know, trying to give him the max of
yep,
conviction and all of that. And
yep,
all the Indian truck drivers came together and stopped driving.
yep, yep,
And what happened?
yep, yes,
So that's a representation of coming together. This is what our people
yes,
don't do.
yes.
We don't
When
come
you
together
judge
to
by
make the
your
change
peers,
and the difference.
it's just like this. Why? Okay, it's just like this, y'all. Anything happen, y'all under a certain religious code. Y'all have a religious charter. So anything going on, well, that body comes to represent. So if anything going on with our brothers, we all coming. Why? Because we part of this body, and we are a good witness to this person's character. And me represent them. We want him a OR by on his character, who he is. We all showing up. That's why. And we righteous and we a body. And when they look it up on paper, I keep telling people the religious laws trump a lot. Divine ministers trump a lot. Divine ministers' word mean a lot to the community and to the courts. I already know this because
So let me clear it up
I've
for
been
the
doing
layman's terms of people, Sheep.
it.
Let me clear it up for the layman's terms of people, right? Everybody
Yes,
don't
sir.
watch The Sopranos, right?
Yep.
Everybody.
Yep.
Who's the person that came to get most of the bad people, the monsters out of jail? Who posts bail for him? It wasn't another crime boss.
Nope.
It was the preacher from the Catholic Church.
All the business was under the church because everybody donated. How? And they had their own neighborhood, aka religious community. It was a Jewish community under the religious laws. We be missing it.
And the pastor came or the preacher came and set forth for the character of what he did for the community.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's why a lot of these monsters was getting out of jail.
Yep. Yep.
Religious laws.
Yep. So you said something about, well, we had jumped into a trustee on arrest and false imprisonment. And when I tell people, I said, you have to know all these topics. But I'm going to get back to what you said, like the definition of false imprisonment. What constitute false imprisonment? Length of time required. All these things you got to know, because barking like a dog does not mean you've been false imprisoned. Now, when I say false imprisonment can be what? Stopping Malik from going from A to B. Yep. You know, but what you mean? What you just say, Sheik? I just said it. What you mean? Just stopping him and yes, I said it for no reason. Where were you going? He don't have to go nowhere. If whatever happened, it ain't no crime. I'm with all for education purposes only. He got his license, registration, doing all this. You're not detaining me. I'm not going to handcuff.
Remain silent.
Yes. I don't have to participate in no investigation. I don't have to participate in nothing.
Right to remain silent. Just remain silent. Give them what they need.
And when
so you be on your way.
Yes. And when you legit. Now, false imprisonment, what? It's stopping me from doing what? Going around in circles if I want to. Going around in circles if I want to.
Am I detained or am I free to go?
Yes. And I won't even ask. Right. Exactly. I will never ask, am I under arrest or am I detained? All I say, am I free to go? Because if I'm under arrest or if I'm detained, I'm under arrest. And you stopping me from going from here to where? Man, I'm on a time limit, man. I'm trying to time myself. See, I can do pun. And people be laughing like, because I got the right to say whatever I want to. And I'll be serious. Man, I'm on a time limit. You stopping me. I'm not asking, am I detained or am I arrested? Because if I'm detained, I'm under arrest.
But that sets them up. They got to answer that question. That puts them on the clock. They set themselves up. They answer that question.
And people do these things and set themselves up when all you ain't under arrest, but you detained.
Yeah. You're saying the same thing. Semantics.
You see? Because if I'm detained, then you stopping me what? From going to and fro. I'm on a time. What you ain't on no time. You can't tell me I can't be on no time. I'm a human being. I'm on my own. You bothering me. I am on a time. It's about the lawful and unlawful means by which government acts in depriving an individual of his liberty. Stay with me. I ain't say cause no harm. I ain't say not being right. History teaches that deprivation of liberty is more often arbitrary. Arbitrary. Just like I tell you, no one can arbitrarily explain
who you are. Right.
Yes. Yes. And unlawful than it is otherwise. At least this is always the tendency of those who hold executive powers. I'll quote Daniel Webster, once stated that this problem in these words, and I quote again, the contest for ages has been to rescue liberty from the grasp of the executive power. See, this has always been this. These others, they operate on a lower level. But liberty is taken away or deprived most commonly by arrest and imprisonment. Stay with me. The practice of easy arrest and secret imprisonments has always been an earmark of a despotic executive power. Therefore, to compound this issue, we have the legislative mills, which turn out thousands of new laws every year, and the passion of modern legislatures to regulate every facet of the most intimate concerns of everyday life is notorious. Watch this. This would be oppressive enough if administered under the requirements of a warrant or a summons, but it becomes doubtably intolerant, and every zealous officer is authorized to arrest on sight every person whom he or she detects breaking one of these laws. Watch this. No one can be safe to leave their home or to travel about for fear of being subject to thousands of unknown laws in which he or she could be instantly arrested for transgressing. Stay with me now. One law reviewer writes, he states that the problem follows, and this is what he says the problem is. People no longer live their whole lives in the village in which they were born. They pass freely from place to place, and in transit go through innumerable towns and villages.
Freely like a free man or woman.
Yes. The risk of being arrested on sight because one's conduct contrives some regulation, which the wisdom of the local salons deem necessary, is appalling to any thinking person. It would be impossible to know at what moment one might become amenable to being under this form of arrest. So we're just setting a precedent, y'all. A revolution in England and the revolution of the American colonies are said by high authorities to have been largely influenced by seizures and searches of persons' property. And the history of our ancestors over the centuries teaches that a people cannot be free where the executive power can arbitrarily arrest or imprison citizens or ransack at will the properties of the people. The executive power is limited and guided by the law of the land or due process of law. And if it was a restriction upon, when we're talking about history, the King of England, it must be so for every petty officer today. When I talk about oath, when I talk about bonds, you have the right to what? Protect the citizens. It's an oath. When you operating right, we just don't have one as a brotherhood. That's why I be telling y'all, my charter is just like the Vatican's. It's just, we under a charter. Malik was just saying, he's like, when we a body of people, it means something.
Yep.
It means a lot. And in many of the trustees on the law pertaining to the rights of citizens, and in many other older and better court cases, we find the declaration, what? And I quote, the law is very jealous of the liberty of the citizen. What is the law that so regards liberty, you may ask? It is the common law. And it declares that one who interferes with another's liberty does so at his peril. It also prescribes how arrests are not to be made. So let's just go a
There's
little
only
bit
two
more.
crimes.
Yes.
There's only two crimes in the world. It's fraud and murder.
Yep. Watch this. We're going to get a definition of false imprisonment, and we're going to keep it open because we on beautiful time. If you're rocking with me, let me know. Peace, TikTok. What my homeboy say, he said, man, you working. So he like, man, I love you. Thanks for the donation. You can say it on there. You can get on there and say what you want, sir. He said, man, everybody get this man a donation. I'm sorry, man. I'll be reading stuff. I'm sorry, man, because stuff be so good. Like, brother, I love you. He like, I've been following you for 8 years. You've been silent since day one. He was like, here go a donation for you, man. I just be reading stuff on the side, man. But the definition of false imprisonment. Here go the definition. So we don't get caught up with nothing that a person just saying. But what constitutes false imprisonment? Now we getting into the meat and potatoes. Malik got his football helmet on. He finna start putting all those stickers on his helmet. Because now we're getting into scenarios. And this scenario gonna come up. Watch this. What constitutes false imprisonment? False imprisonment consists of any type of unlawful restraint or interference with the personal liberty of an individual. Now,
Pursuit of my happiness.
What you say, Malik? Go ahead.
Pursuit of my happiness.
Yeah.
You're infringing on my happiness to go where I was going.
Yes. Yes. Come on, Malik. What, you got some more to say? Come on. Give me some more.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna keep it simple.
Huh?
I'm gonna keep it simple.
Okay. Let's proceed then. It basically involves any unlawful violation of the liberty of another. Now, the ancient English legal scholar Henry D. Bracton, 1200 to 1268, as I quote, it reminds us that false imprisonment is one of the oldest violations of rights known. Are y'all listening? Y'all listening. Forcefully to deprive a man, a woman of freedom to go wheresoever he or she may is clearly a trespass. False imprisonment was indeed one of the first trespasses recognized by the common law. Y'all don't hear me?
Which came from the Commonwealth.
Come on, Malik. My homeboy said, I ain't never learned this in school. I know. What he said, you make it so simple. Gratitude. False imprisonment is classified as a tort. False imprisonment, and see, when I remember yesterday we was talking about language, where I said words have spells. So if Malik can talk in a way and he say, oh, they ain't finna put no tort on me, a person would be like, tort. But the ones that know, they'd be like, uh-oh. Why? Because he know off the top, they're gonna know the language is astute, the language where it need to be. Because this form of false imprisonment is classified as a tort under the common law. And also as a what? A crime. I ain't say an infraction. I said a crime. Do y'all hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Crime is murder and fraud. That's it.
Come on, Malik. Ooh, I told they ain't hear him. And it's a spectrum of what it fall under the place. He just giving, but he said, I just keep it simple. Because when you keep it simple, it's a lot that go with in the simplicities. You only can know this, what? Because you've been through the chamber and you can get there. You can get rid of the fluff and you can fill it all. You can fill the pillow up. Or you can just say, man, here go the whole pillow.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
False imprisonment is classified as a tort under the common law and also a crime. It has been labeled as a tort, a trespass, an assault, a wrong, a damage, and an injury, giving one cause to bring suit against another for a remedy. What you mean? Bring suit against another for a remedy. What you mean? Because something has to be resolved for what? For you messing with me in my time. And now I'm scared. You hear me? I'm scared.
Right.
Every time I see this and this, it do something to my mental. Depriving a person of their liberty is legally no different than depriving a person of their property. A theft of liberty is a wrong by which remedy can be had.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yes.
Property.
Come on, Malik.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We can self-identify it as property. Oop. Negro, black, and colored. Ethiopia. Like, you self-identified as property. I got you.
False imprisonment is a great offense due to the high regard the law has for liberty. Remember,
Now,
I'm gonna give you all another.
Skip over that portion. See, I don't think we skip over that. Like the
What's
property. Because if we've been self-identifying as property for so long that we think that it has some validity in this realm we talking about, as far as knowing who you are. You've been self-identifying as property, so property is the only thing that you can own and move about.
Come on.
That means the state, because you don't know who you are, makes a claim on you. Because you're their property, because you self-identified as property. You haven't self-identified as a human being, legally and lawfully.
You open a can of worms because they say, "Oh no, you person." I
didn't open no can of worms. This is a can of godliness. What you talking about?
Well, you know what I mean. But the godliness is going to take you to another. The godliness is going to take you all across the board, as you just said. Because when you think, "Oh, property, person, place, and thing," is still property. It's still not property.
Sorry. No, that's a noun.
It's still not. Yeah, it's still not proper. When you talk about person in the context of the law, it's still ownership. When you call yourself a person, it's just ownership from one to one. You still are it's chattel. You still is chattel. When you identify as a person, no, any lawyer would tell you they know. That's why I said you got to know this. You got to know the principle in the law, and you got to know this. I've lectured a plethora of times. I showed people, they like, you right. I said, it's there. So when you say this person, I'm like, person is meaningless. That's in the same thing as what? Property.
Property.
Ownership.
You are a human being. Natural human being.
Yes. Person is ownership. The lawyer that is set up like that. It just set up like, oh, okay, well, you want to be person. Okay, still ownership. It's still drew up the same. Just different linguistics. I'm telling you, anybody with the right mind understand where we're going.
Right.
And I did this in any prosecutor. Yes, for educational purposes only. That's right. That's right. For educational purposes only. You can ask your professors. You can ask anyone for educational purposes only. They're gonna be like, absolutely, sir and ma'am. They're gonna be like, you must be right in everything that you do, blah, 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 as we talk about, Right. But when we talk about Treatise practice of law, y'all know it states that the infraction of personal liberty has ever been regarded as one of the greatest injuries. Now it's an injury too. The injuries to liberty are principally termed as false imprisonment or what? Malicious prosecution. So when this happened, I don't care if they being nice to you and all this playing this game, they know that they done messed up. Unlawful detention. Listen to your brother. Unlawful detention or deprivation of liberty. Now, liberty is based and it's contingent on some other things too. You better be operating right. Because liberty is contingent on some too. Because what, Malik? The pendulum swings the same way to the left as what, Malik?
Does to the right.
So you better stop playing with that scimitar, because you can hurt yourself with it. But unlawful detention or deprivation of liberty is the basis of an action for the tort of false imprisonment. An actual seizure or the laying on the hands, the laying of the hands is not necessary to constitute an unlawful detention. Did you all just hear what I just said? What did I just say?
It's not, I forgot that word you just said. It's not contingent.
Listen what I'm saying. Actual seizure or the laying on of the hands is not necessary to constitute an unlawful detention, meaning they ain't got to put your hands on you for it to be an unlawful detention. You hear me?
No, they gotta stop you and stop
Yes.
you from going to and from.
Yes. Thus, the only essential elements of the action are number one, and I quote, can somebody mute themselves for a little bit, please, in your mind? I just hear a lot in the background. The detention or restraint against one's will. And number two, the unlawfulness of such detention or restraint. So in his treatise on the law of torts, Judge Cooley states, and I quote, false imprisonment is a wrong akin to the wrongs of assault and battery, and consists in imposing by force or threats an unlawful restraint upon a woman's freedom of locomotion. That's a compound word. Blackstone, in his commentaries on the law, commentary 127, states on this matter, and I quote, every confinement of the person is an imprisonment, whether it be in a common prison or in a private house or in the stocks, or even by forcibly detaining one in the public streets. Thus, any type of detainment or confinement of a person or restriction or deprivation of their liberty or freedom of locomotion, where he or she is compelled to remain, where he or she does not wish to remain, or to go where he or she does not wish to go, is an imprisonment. And the only question thereafter is whether or not the imprisonment is false. And the word false comes from the common law and is synonymous with unlawful. Therefore, a false arrest is one means of committing a false imprisonment. And in describing false imprisonment as being the unlawful restraint of the liberty of the citizen, did y'all hear what I just said? Watch this. I'm finna make a funny of the citizen. You heard me, Malik?
Yeah, I heard you.
More say they ain't citizens.
Boy, oh boy.
Huh?
I said, boy, oh boy.
They say the
Now,
laws
what are you a part of? What are you a part of?
Huh?
And what are you a part of?
See? Let's proceed. Or of the primary right of freedom of locomotion. The Supreme Court of Idaho also states, imprisonment is any restraint of the personal liberty of another and prevention of his or her movement from place to place, or his or her free action according to his or her own pleasure and will. It is false imprisonment when this is done without lawful authority. And in reviewing several textbooks, the definitions on false imprisonment, the Supreme Court of North Carolina stated, and I quote again, false imprisonment is the unlawful and total restraint of the liberty of the person. The imprisonment is false in the sense of being unlawful. The right violated by this tort is freedom of locomotion. The right violated by this tort is freedom of locomotion. The right violated by this tort is freedom of locomotion. Are you listening to the right vernacular? The right Your right that's violated by this tort is freedom of locomotion. It belongs historically to the class of rights known as simple or primary rights. And the theory of law is that one interferes with the freedom of locomotion of another at his own peril. A rather complete description of what does and does not constitute this form of false imprisonment was given by the Supreme Court of Kansas as follows. And I quote again, my brothers and sisters, false imprisonment is necessarily a wrongful interference with the personal liberty of an individual. The wrong may be committed by words alone, or by acts alone, or by both, and by merely operating on the will of the individual, or by personal violence, or by both. It is not necessary that the individual be confined within a prison or within walls, or that he or she be assaulted or even touched, brothers and sisters. It is not necessary that there should be any injury done to the individual's person or to his character or reputation, nor is it necessary or contingent that the wrongful act be committed with malice or ill will. So if the cop said, I have malice or ill will, that don't matter. Or even with the slightest wrongful intention, nor is it necessary that the act be under color of any legal or judicial proceedings. All that is necessary is that the individual be restrained of his or her liberty without any sufficient legal cause thereof, and by words or acts which he or she fears to disregard. We almost done. False imprisonment exists not only by words or acts that one fears to be disregarded or disregard, but also by such acts and measures that he or she cannot disregard. No fear of disobedience need to exist. If someone causes a situation that makes it impossible for another to exercise their liberty or locomotion, it is a false imprisonment. Anyone, false imprisonment is the same of the category for those torts that unlawfully deprive or interfere with the liberty of an individual. And under the category, the unlawful arrest is the most common type of wrong committed. And another common way in which a wrong of this nature occurs is by the unlawful detention of a person in a room, a jail, or a location. Definitions of false imprisonment usually come from unlawful restraints of this nature. False imprisonment has been well defined to be a trespass committed by one man against the person of another by unlawfully arresting him or her and detaining him or her without any legal authority. The law sets such a high value upon liberty of the citizen that even an attempt to unlawfully arrest is esteemed a great provocation. And all the authorities agree that an arrest may be made either with or without any physical force or actual touching by the officer. Thus, any legal restraint of one's personal liberty by the act of another gives that person a cause of action for what? False imprisonment against one, causing the illegal restraint. Another term we say prima facie. Any restraint put by fear or force is unlawful. False imprisonment is necessarily a wrongful interference with the personal liberty of an individual, usually made by an arrest, and physical custody or restraint is not essential to this type of arrest. We like to call it the effectuation of an arrest. So if an officer tells this individual, I'm giving a scenario that, hey, you under arrest. And then that person thereupon submits themselves to the officer, going with them and obeying their orders. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just for educational purposes only. Such person is deprived of his liberty. And if the act of the officer is unlawful, it is false imprisonment. If the act of the officer is unlawful, you got to know what's unlawful. Don't matter if they talking nice. If the act what they doing is unlawful and you understand that, then it's a false arrest and it's a false imprisonment. And in all cases in which there is no physical touching or seizure, nor any resistance, the intentions of the parties to be transactions are to be considered. See, we almost there. And in such a case, there must have been intent on the part of, the part of one of them to arrest or restrain the other. An intent on the part of such other to submit, and under the belief and impression that submission was necessary. So the following definitions will provide further insight into the nature and elements of false imprisonment. Open up your ears and your hippocampus. False imprisonment is the unlawful restraint by one person of the physical liberty of another. As here used, the word false seems to be synonymous with unlawful, and any exercise of force or expressed or implied threat of force by which, in fact, the other person is deprived of his or her liberty, compelled to remain where he or she does not wish to remain, or go where he or she does not wish to go, is an imprisonment. False imprisonment is the unlawful arrest or detention of a person without warrant, or by an illegal warrant, or a warrant illegally executed. And any restraint, however slight, upon another's liberty to come and go as he or she pleases constitutes as an arrest. So the length of time required, the tort or the wrong of false imprisonment occurs the instant, the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, that one is restrained in the exercise of their liberty. There is no unreasonable length of time for a restraint before the tort can be claimed. False imprisonment at common law and elsewhere consists in the unlawful detention of the persons of another for any length of time, whereby he, she, deprived of your personal liberty. Y'all got that?
Oh yeah.
It's long.
I hope y'all got that. I'm gonna stop right there because I can give more. I can give y'all damages and liabilities, but we want to keep it in this time because we don't want to put too much on the person too fast. We want to get rid of the messed up stuff and continue to fill the cup up with clean water. And we do that piece by piece, principality on principality. And everything that we talk about, all the literature, we have it. They talk about this in Oxford and Cambridge and Harvard and law school. I'm telling you, I got more. My muftis know I got all these lesson plans. I got all the lesson plans, what they teach. I'm just giving an introduction. So you know how to operate, so you know how to speak. And we operate in the parameters, and we operate above. If me and my muftis want to travel, we ain't for hire. All our tasks can say not for hire or not for profit if we want them to. All my muftis, all of them, everyone, we operate a certain way. So we don't do things that's not lawfully, because we are an organization and we tax exempt for the federal government. We operate the right way, and you can too, but we right here. So thank y'all for donations.
You gotta come learn how to do that.
You have, like Malik said, you got to come learn. You got to be willing to learn. A lot of people cup is halfway full, which is cool. But sometimes you have to be willing to get a flush and fill and reboot your hard drive. That's okay too.
That's right.
Any questions? Any questions? Anybody got? Because we on TikTok, we on YouTube. Anybody got anything they want to add or leave, or as we close? Because we almost at an hour. We got a couple more minutes. but I like to stop. Like I said, if anybody want to get with me, y'all got my email on there. If y'all would like books, if you want to give small donations, I'll give whatever you want. We can build our community, for we can get emails, for people can join us privately. So a lot of stuff that I want to get to the next level, we don't have to share on social media. You know, a lot of people that's serious, you want to learn first. You want to get your heart right first. You want to, like Malik said, be willing to learn to see who you're dealing with. You know, so
Islam Sheik, I had something actually as we were going through it.
yes,
You know, Islam, as we were going through it, and we're speaking about law.
yes,
You get caught up in, you know, the common law, but I was just wondering as I'm listening to it, you know, because law governs all events. When we're speaking about law and this concept, can we also be talking about just our own law that we must follow? And when we
you say our
false
own.
imprisonment,
What you say? Say that again, Noble Dantes, please.
are you like, can we also just look at ourselves as the law, like the law within us that we follow, you know, when we're operating, just in regular life, you know? And when we say false imprisonment, you know, I understand what we're saying as far as common law, false imprisonment, and, you know, as far as freedom of locomotion and things like that, and all of the other things that we discussed today. Is there another way to look at it outside of the common law and being false imprisoned, you know, within ourselves based on, like you're saying, I guess there's something that you want to do, you know, you're being stopped from doing or feeling or willing yourself into this direction because you're being stopped by, you know, something else, or being false imprisoned when you feel stuck when really you don't need to be stuck per se.
Good
Just is
question.
there other ways to kind of look at it besides, you know, the obvious, as we're discussing it, might be common law, you know, interactions with police officers and such and things like that on your day to day. But is there just another way to also kind of look at the information that we all just learned?
I'm glad you said that. Man, y'all be asking your brother just great questions. It's just like Malik said earlier, when Malik said, well, everybody don't believe in the Bible. True enough. But I bet you everybody believe in principle, right? I bet you everybody will believe in the Kemetic principles. I bet you everybody believe in fire, earth, air, river. I bet you if people, the ones that don't believe in anything outside of themselves, I bet you that we were born with knowing right from wrong. I bet you that. So if we know that, then why, when we get to adults, why would we try to do things to go the cold, how can I say, to go up the stream, and we should be going down the stream? You know, so what I'm saying, for me, if you asking like for the individual, how can you be all law? That's because I operate right. I choose to participate in certain things. That's what I tell people. I said that other stuff is not my mission. When people be, oh, I'm trying to do this, they don't got to do this, and then they begin harassed, and your whole life is this. That's not my mission. So once again, it's the choice to do right and to be legit on your parameters, and the right to choose, you know, the right or wrong per se, you know, and is it worth it? When I ask people, are those fights worth it? If you say it's worth it to you, then it's worth it to you. But for me, and as a map and a guide and leading people, I can't lead people in no burning house. I can't have people doing some things that, this hypothetically speaking, I haven't done, and get people all messed up. I can't do that. I tell you, it's a way to do things the right way. If you operate in that manifestation, it's a way to do things. And that is meaningless for me. So I don't think it's no other way, you know, as a person that agree that they live in a community, we don't have our own land, we can ride around on our horses or whatever that. I believe as a citizen, I'm under some tenets and some ordinance that I agree to. Now, let me throw the question back to you and to everyone on this platform, and let's see how y'all respond. Just imagine you got a whole bunch of people, Noble Dantes, that's driving on the highways, and they say they don't got to have no license or no insurance or nothing. And then they might get into, Lord forbid, they get into an accident. Those same people are going to try to use the laws that they say that they don't abide by to sue, right?
Even though we just said that they were on the highways.
See? You see what I'm saying?
Islam.
So when we talk about common law and common sense, sometimes common sense is not that common. And people be trying to go so complex. And I said, you're not even being common. Let's do another scenario. Say you got your cousin that's one of those Moors that's all into that like that. And I'm using, say you at your family reunion, and you know he operate like that. You know he don't got no license, no tags, nothing that. And he say, hey man, tell your wife, which is his cousin, and your mom and all them and the baby, y'all come to the store with me. What you gonna say?
No.
All right then. All right then, Dantes. Off the top. You're gonna be like hedge and all. You're gonna be like, cuz don't got no license, no insurance. My mom ain't getting in there. My baby ain't getting in there. My wife, you got to be nutso.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about common sense.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm asking people, like common sense. So once again, the choice is yours. When I tell people, I don't tell nobody what to do. But for me, if I'm transporting people, like we got our BBT van, you think I'm gonna be transporting seniors and the kids? If I'm taking the kids to after school activities, or we picking the kids up for summer class, for summer school, you think the driver ain't gonna have no operator license? We ain't gonna have no insurance, and we got these kids. We responsible for these people. Do you think I'm irresponsible?
Yeah, we gonna have insurance bonds for sure.
Huh?
We're gonna have insurance bonds for real.
Yeah. It ain't just for me. It's for the. I want to protect everything that I'm doing. So if it's certain things that set up, and I say, well, this makes sense for me and mine, I'm rocking with it. The other stuff is uncivilized for me and mine. That's all. So if I answer that the right way, Noble Dantes, if I didn't, well, that's the only way I know how to answer it.
Islam, sheep. Islam.
No, we can't get a whole audit. We can't spill all the beans. They got to come to class. You can't get it all, and that's why they won't come to class, because they think they're getting it all. No, y'all got to come to class. Y'all got to be part of what we doing. Y'all got to be part of what we doing in the resolution to things. Stop thinking you just get all information for free.
Yeah.
Come together and be a part of this. Community is unity. And y'all just being on one end of the spectrum and not doing that and just listening to information is not unity. That's just getting information. Mm-hmm. You're not being part of the solution, just getting information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Islam.
Everybody looking at us. We a community. We doing things. We operating, and it's on us. Like I tell the Pandora box is open. You know. It's like, okay, it's on us, the righteous ones, to prevail.
Thank you, Trump. Look, thank you, Trump.
Yeah, and people don't even understand like what you mean. I said the Pandora box is open. What you mean? I can't. That's all I can say. It's nothing. It's nothing else I can say. I told people what's gonna happen. What understanding when this type of life and this type of thing, when who you are, is gonna mean so much important. Why? Because that's what it's going back to. Community. Malik just said it, but people don't see it. Everybody else is community. When you hear about things, they call them the community. The community. The Ethiopians, those ones that were in the Somalians that scanned all that money. If the community, everything they say community, and I say the misnomer BLACK, man, it's no community. It's no unity. And I love social media. And the reason why I love social media, y'all, as we close, because I met all y'all. And I met my muftis. All those brothers on there, those are my muftis, my brothers. We've been together for over 5-6 years. And we a community. That's why this platform, I say, is electric. Because we can be in everybody's household. And people can be serious. Noble Malik, we just had to, man, I got sisters, cousins, and aunts, they've been over here, coming to see my mom and stuff, as my mom doing her, recovering and stuff. But they all talk about church and things, and they all say the same thing. They say they don't get nothing from church. And I say, why y'all go? They like, the entertainment. And, and so my mom was like, well, why don't y'all tune in? Why don't y'all support? Because if you're not getting the answer at church and those biblical scriptures, and then you come to me and you get biblical clarity, I think that's worth something. Family. That's all I'm saying. And I hope we get there. And I agree with Noble Malik.
It should be worth something.
Yes, I really do. And we invite everybody to come to class. Everyone that's on TikTok, man, y'all got our information. Everybody should be emailing me. Like I want y'all to be part of this. I want y'all to see what we're doing. I want y'all to work out. I want y'all to see what the community that we do.
Go behind the scenes, sit back, play big
I hear
girl.
that, I think that's you. Yeah, but I definitely want everybody to give everybody the opportunity to join us, Noble Dantes, and anything that y'all need. My Muftis is here. I'm here. Our number going across, and we definitely trying to build our community, man, and show brothers and sisters what we can do together, as righteous people, with one nationality, many cultures. So with that being said, man, I thank y'all. Like I said, I give honor to you, Dantes, to your family, to your Empress, your little Noble, your mom, your parents. I give honor to my parents, and I give honor to everyone that's here today under the sound of my voice. But we need more, and like I said, we need more, y'all. We need more. Like I said, we need more communication. We need more people getting with us. We need more people coming to class. We need more discussions. We need more, and we can have more. We right here, and that's what I'm saying. Don't hesitate, brothers and sisters, to join us. So, you got anything, Dante? Anything else? Just anything else that you want to share with the world or ask before we get out of here?
The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, Sheikh Kyrie, Good Bit El Bay, just a spot of all we get is understanding from Sheikh, and we definitely give Sheikh honors. All you get with the Burning Bush is truth, and it's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you in a way where, hey, there's some correction there. There's some application of some things that you need to work on each and every day. If you're not interested in that, it's not the place for you. And because you're supposed to be this for yourself, for your family, for your community, and that's what Sheikh is saying, and that's what he's building, and that's what each member of the BBT, that's what we get instilled. And honestly, like I said, Sheikh Kyrie, this is a place where you want to be. Absolutely. If you listening out there, if you tuned in, this is a spot. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. And honestly, this is going to happen, Sheikh, in a major way in every area. And it's because of the leadership of you and what you have here and what you've been building on for years. And a lot of people been watching and a lot of people new to it. But the BBT, is coming and it's here. So that's just shout outs to you, Sheikh. Shout outs to you and honors and healing energy to your mother. Islam.
Gratitude, man. Gratitude.
Islam.
Gratitude, man, for y'all kind words. And as we continue to build, man, like I said, we just casting our net out for Moors and true light seekers. Don't let today go by, man, without getting with us. I don't care if it's just one person. Don't let the day go by without getting with us. So you can see what we all about, man. Like, it's the time. We can't wait.
Reach one, teach one.
Yes. And we here as a community. And so I just give honors to y'all, man. And I like to share something with as we close, one of my homies. Y'all know Chavez in Vegas. He was like, man, I just got to tell you, man, I respect you for building this ministry on something solid. Because I could have jumped in business and then all this. He was like, no, man. He was like, this need to be done. The other stuff is building, but you building this first, which is what's needed. We need a brotherhood. We need something that we can. Yes, man. Absolutely, Malik. We need a code of conduct. Yes, we need a brother. Absolutely.
Foundation got to be solid. You don't want to build
it
quickly.
Yes, and then the rest of the stuff is like domino.
It takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stop watching on the sidelines and you wait until we get done with building the structure. Be part of it. That way you'll be a stakeholder and it'll be sacred to you.
What we say, Malik, don't
nobody come in here and try to ruin it because you hold it that dear to you.
Just tell it, don't be a spectator, be a participator.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had an opportunity.
If the Black Panthers Huey P. Newton was the only one out there and never had no supporters. You would have never known about the Black Panther if he didn't have the supporters and the people.
Very well said. Very well said. You have, here it is, the brother. Here it is. We say we in the community, we don't know nothing, or say we don't know, but we want to learn more. And we have somebody from our community that go get all the tools, the keys, like the other man, get his own charter and all that, and then come back to the people and offer to the people to be a part of something. Not no charge, you know.
Yeah, you trust the people that have been lying to you. You got more trust in people that been lying to you than the ones that's showing you something new and fresh that could connect you to everything. That's crazy to me.
And it is to me. And when we had that conversation, Noble Malik, that's what that's what I was saying. Because when the only reason why I speak of education and my endeavors is I just talk about the difference. And when a lot of people be saying, "Oh man, that stuff is this, it's high this," I say, "What or it's secret?" And I say, we might say that, but in their halls, this is like elementary wisdom. That's what I'm saying. And so I've just been allowed to be in that endeavor and be in those realms and study this and have our own charter and say, wait a minute, my brothers don't have to be subjugated to nothing that's beneath what I can give them. You know, what they can understand and build themselves up, because you have the choice. And we go through those levels, but we come into that God and man. And that's where, like Malik said, that have to be built up from understanding from scripture. You have to be able to see that and feel it. You have to understand that not only what you're dealing with is that, but you are that as well. You know, we talked about that when I was talking about the Vero. That once when I talk about like the chakras, yeah, but it's one chakra that's controlling everything. That Vero is the life force. I talked about it in Adept Class. I talked about it in Adept Class yesterday. That Vero is the life force. You can have all this going on, but if the life force is shattered, there's nothing there.
Hello.
That energy, that electricity. Yes, come on, Malik. That's source. And that's what we have to understand, what we have to get, how we have to get to there to understand, like, we all have the life force, but it needs to be activated. A map and a guide shows you the way, just like anything else. We got to understand, I'm just a map and a guide, a sensei, a Buddha, a guide.
To apply the knowledge.
Huh?
It's up to the individual to apply the knowledge.
Yes. And the knowledge, absolutely, Malik, and the knowledge is here. And that's all I'm saying. I just want us to get to the point, be saying something. We got to stop saying things are hidden. We got to stop with the negative feelings and things about this. That's where I'm at with it. I said we got to get to the level of peace, because there's nothing hidden. How can it be hidden? I'm speaking on it, and others will speak on it the same way I speak on it that don't even look like us. How can it be something foreign? And I graduated from the university speaking like this. I have to. And then, and all of you guys are here repeatedly on TikTok and on YouTube. Just like the brother said yesterday, he's been following me for 5 years, Malik. Somebody said, well, if you've been following this brother for 5 years, are you supporting? This was somebody else was saying. People be like, say what they want. And they're like, how can you just follow this man for, and you see what all this stuff he's doing? Are you supporting this man? You've been following him for 5 years? Following. Like I said, I want people to support. It's not hurting us, because we got something beautiful in the making, y'all. But once again, I thank y'all for your time. I love everyone that was here. Thank you for getting with us. We can continue to do more. Malik, can you take us out with our Moorish American prayer?
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night, by day, His holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen, Ashay, Shalom Aleichem, Arash Zalmism, peace, peace, peace.
I'm going to get our benediction and we out of here. You got it already or something, Dantes? Huh?
I don't think he might have got up in that way.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yep.
Can you hear me? Islam, I got the benediction sheet.
Oh, okay. Gratitude.
To close the holy prayer, the benediction reads as follows. And peace. May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou should strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thine brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield and the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal death. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within thy own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ya Rahman, Ya Hakim, Ya Muhammad, Islam, amen. That's peace, light,
Peace.
illumination.
Yes.
Peace, peace, peace,
Peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace, peace, peace, peace,
peace.
peace. Love y'all, man. See y'all tomorrow for workout.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Hey.
Love.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading fundamental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your teas at My Son's Teas, the tea of teas divinely prepared at herbsofmyaunt.com. Be sure to check out all of those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Bay at bhbademusic.com. For your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Morris drip, be sure to check out morsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
No such thing as failure, baby. Don't forget who made you. You can't be thinking minor when you need to be thinking major. They made you think they saved you, but it can't nobody.